One at the door, John, now I'm here to stay. Tell me who the fuck gonna face the music. More brick laying, less screen time. Been cutting back on the daily usage. Long road for the road dogs, for the weird miles from the soapbox. Got BKTs on this bitch, so everybody getting rolled on, yeah. Yeah, everybody getting rolled on. Check all this credits on BMI. I'm just too kind to expose y'all. And I see a team with the ghost sign and question if y'all ever wrote songs. All enemies of mine have been study. Please don't.
Now, we're not here to judge anybody. We want to handle this with love, right? You want to tell him how his drug abuse has hurt you, maybe hurt himself. Okay, Harold, what time did you tell him to be here?
5 o'clock, but he's always late.
No, he'll be here. In 3, 2, 1.
Is this a 5 o'clock free crack giveaway?
Baby leg, nigga, I just shit like. I'm recording her. Hey yo, how long? My child. This is not my child. No, it's not.
Are you gonna help me?
Yeah, you gotta give me change.
I don't have change.
What happened to you?
Are you gonna help me?
What happened to you?
I don't know what happened to me. They said I got raped.
What?
Can you help me, please? They said I got raped. They said I got raped. Can you help me, please?
Oh my God. This is so what? This is good footage right here. Hey, yo, come on. I'm gonna help you right now. Come on.
Where are you gonna help me?
I'm gonna go get change for you.
Okay,
Hey, miss, you got change for a 20? You got change for a 20?
They said I got raped. I don't know what's going on.
I'm about to help you right now. Relax, yo. Just.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, folks. Oh, jeez. I'm echoing. Anyways, I really respect that guy in that video. I really do. I mean, that is a dedicated dude right there, all right? The chick is walking around with a freaking baby doll leg coming out of her underwear and shit. And acting all crazy and whatnot. And he's still trying to talk about, like, trying to hit that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, like, I'm going to help you. I got you. Yo, that's dedication. I'm telling you right now. And I respect that. I do. But at the same time, I got to tell you, I'd be deterred a little bit by the baby leg deal a little bit, you know? Unless that's a new trend I don't know about. I don't know. Maybe I'm not hip with that shit yet. You know, that would be something that Renee would know about, probably.
I know absolutely nothing about that.
Oh, Renee, you ain't rolling with the baby leg bitches?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, you know, I'm getting old. I'm almost 40, so I'm not hip to all the new trends. And maybe I should go ahead and throw a baby leg in my shit real quick tomorrow and check it out. But anyways, folks, of course, that is the like bat signal here on the bleeding edge. When you see those kind of videos and whatnot, that's our sign. That is bleeding edge time. And I feel very lucky and very blessed to have some very solid friends and guests here to rock out this Friday night live stream show on the MCU's Bleeding Edge. I have, for the second time on the Bleeding Edge, Justin Hurst, who is a longtime Marvel comic book collector, is a still legit current day Marvel comic book collector, who's in the know, and is here to drop comic book knowledge on us from time to time. And is just basically handling his business and being loyal and whatnot, and having my back and shit tonight. So thank you very much, Justin.
Thank you.
Yep. I was busy today. Had hell of meetings and shit and whatnot and stuff going on. Still made it for the show. That's right.
Yep.
But that's still, I mean, honestly though, that's still not as dedicated as that dude with the baby leg chick. But
that was dedication.
Seriously.
I mean, straight up.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But either way, Renee, of course, is here. She is, as always, better in audio form than she is visually. And is here once again to add her wonderful contributions and add all the value that she brings to the panel here on the Bleeding Edge and whatnot for another show. And she is a very loyal and consistent guest on the show, a regular, and a good friend of mine who I respect very much. And it's very nice again to record with you once again, Renee.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here.
Most definitely. And I'm glad that I actually have some pretty good shit to give you to work with and whatnot tonight, because I would not want to waste your time.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know? I'll save that for the weak ass type people. They can get the weak shit. I'll save that for Mr. My throat hurts.
Nice.
Yeah, when he comes on the show for his first time, when I introduce him, I'm gonna be like, go ahead, introduce yourself. And then when he goes ahead to start talking,
Hot D.
There you go. That's how it's gonna go. From jump.
Oh man.
Oh man, I'll tell you right now too, folks. Watch out. I'm dropping a new Bleeding Edge reaction on the YouTube channel soon of my first failed reaction video with some fucking clown that I met. And essentially, like 40 minutes of it is just us like straight talking shit to each other. And like me trying to like figure out the logic of like all of his bullshit. And honestly, I titled it My Attempt to Do a Reaction Video with a Fucking Clown. That's the title. Yep. And then the rest of it says, and you know, you may be scared. He's killed people. Because he told me in the thing that he's killed people. And he will put me down 6 feet under and shit. So, yep.
Yeah,
Either way. Either way. And I'm going to make sure that I add a little, like, 3-minute primer just to start things off and whatnot. And, like, let people know, like, what they're getting into with the video. And this guy. The guy who has so much professionality go on and whatnot that he tells me I should pay him to do a reaction video with me. Yet at the same time, 10 minutes into the reaction video, just fucking walks away completely during the recording and goes to take a piss. Yep.
Whoa, we're not getting paid for this?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I guess I should have paid him for the piss, too. Yep. I'm standing there like this. Like... You know, like, I don't know what to do. This guy just bolted. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, could you hear the urine
look,
in the background?
I'm telling you, Renee, listen, I've never in my entire time in content creation ever had a guest on any show ever just walk away in the middle of a recording, just be leave. You know? And be gone.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, you're just talking on and on in
Yep.
dead air.
Yeah, he was like, I gotta take a fucking piss, yo. And he was out. And then he came back with his big arrogant smile on his face and whatnot. And like I was like, dude, bro, just so you know, that's not normal. But it's all good. He explained to me that he knew what was going on and whatnot and shit. He was running the show, so
That's good.
Yep.
At least he was, at least he had it going on.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, I normally would never throw up a video like that and whatnot just to like shame somebody or like be negative like that. But at the point that during the freaking like arrogant, boisterous bullshit like reaction video where he like condescended to me constantly and disrespected me and shit, he actually told me to like upload it and whatnot and told me to. And told me that it's going to make him look good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Had to do it.
You have to at that point.
Yeah,
had to do it.
At that point, yeah, you're duty bound.
Yes. I agree.
That's right. That's right. I think people need to know and be warned about this, like, dude from the streets and shit, whatnot, that kills people left and right and whatnot. He could be dangerous, you know?
What would his supervillain name be?
Oh, man. Look, I mean, you might not even know what this is, Renee, but this guy is actually a juggalo. He's into the ICP, the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. And it takes a lot of pride in it, too.
Oh, man.
So, honestly, I'm not even sure. I mean,
he's like one step up from the guys in Deliverance.
He's one of those guys that thinks the word integrity is like a new kind of Kia.
Yeah.
Is ICP still doing things?
Oh yeah, but I gotta be honest with you, man. I stopped thinking ICP was cool when I was 14.
I agree. Yeah, that. I mean, even that late.
Yeah. So the fact that this guy is like 30-something years old and he's like yelling and shit about he's a juggalo and all this shit and everything and whatnot. I mean, come on, man.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't think you gotta worry about him.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Knifing you in the streets.
Listen, Renee, I've been around the block once or twice and whatnot, and I've actually experienced grinding a little bit on the streets and shit in New York and whatnot when I was up there and shit. I have. Unfortunately and whatnot, I'm not proud of it. And I've done some shit and seen some shit, and I'll tell you right now, I know when I should be afraid of somebody and when I shouldn't be. And when I hear that weak-ass, fake, lying-ass crap from people like that and whatnot, if anything, all it does is just goddamn insult me and piss me off. You know, it grates at me.
It's crazy. I
Yeah,
can't believe people would actually claim to be juggalos.
In real life, I swear to God, I would bet money that in real life, if I physically came in contact with him, he will call the police on me.
Probably.
Yep. He would be the victim all of a sudden. So, folks, before we get into the main segment of the show, and we get into the fact that, yes, we now tangibly know for a fact that Marvel Studios is going to do the Thunderbolts as a film. Before we get there, we're going to play the She-Hulk trailer, and we're going to just basically toss it around and whatnot and do some theorizing and have a little discussion about, you know, what Renee's thoughts, what Justin's thoughts are as far as where they think the series could go, how good it could be overall, its impact overall over the course of the span of the year, and, you know, essentially just chat it up a little bit and whatnot and enjoy the trailer. I personally will put it out there right now that I've been known to be wrong from time to time, but I do firmly believe that the She-Hulk Disney Plus trailer will end up being the best Disney Plus show that comes out this year.
Being a superhero is a trial by fire. Who's gonna protect the world if not people like you?
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a lawyer. I have great friends. Can we get some shots, please? It's an emergency. A demanding job.
We just started a superhuman law division, and I want you to be the face of it.
And a frustrating family.
Cause you didn't ask for this, but you still gotta deal with it. Your transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing. Oh. Bruce, kind of feels like if I don't transform, I'm gonna die.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no.
I just want to be a normal, anonymous lawyer.
Can you tell us where She-Hulk is?
Jen, you're a story now.
Girl, your ass looks crazy right now. You could be an Avenger.
Oh, I'm not a superhero. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason. And Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s?
Yeah, this is the best date I've had in a while.
Oh.
Should we split some fries?
Let's get those to go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's great. What do you think, Renee? I mean, what do you think? We got sex, dating.
Mm-hmm.
We got a woman dominating a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Pick him up like a baby.
Abomination.
Yup. Abomination. Yup.
Yeah, is that Tim Roth? He plays Abomination.
Yes.
Oh, we lost Jeff.
Oh no.
Oh, that's okay.
There.
That's okay. It was that fucking cloud guy and shit. He finally came back and got me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had seen this before, and it looks like it's going to be like a, I don't want to call it Sex in the City, but something on that line, the girls type show where they're, judging the guys and all that, and that type of show. So I think it's going to have that element to it. Plus, all the She-Hulk stuff, and smash, bang, and that type of stuff.
Well, I mean, what do you think, Renee? Like, they described it. Kevin Feige described it officially as a legal comedy,
right?
Essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've seen the trailer before then, right?
Yeah, this is the second time I've seen it.
Okay. So, what do you think about the fact that, for one thing, what do you think about the fact that Bruce Banner, Hulk, is in the series and whatnot, and his impact potentially in the series?
Oh yeah, he's her mentor. He's gonna help her adjust to her new life as this superhero being she has to learn to control the way he had to. So he's sort of a Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid, and I noticed that it's all CGI Bruce Banner though. Or Dr. Hulk, whatever he's called there. So I think that's a way of having Mark Ruffalo, but not have the actor all the way.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I thought some of it did look like the usual. What do they call it, Justin? What do they call it when he puts the suit on and all that?
Mr. Fix-It.
No. When he does when he records, when they do the production, and he wears the suit with the camera.
Oh yeah, they have to. But they probably have so much of that now. They don't have. They can just go in their archives and get the movements out they need.
Yeah, no, but my only point was that I thought that from looking at the trailer, it looked like some of it did look very digitally, and then some of it did look like the usual Hulk that we usually get.
Okay, well, maybe so.
But the question is, what is going on with this whole dichotomy where we're seeing him as Bruce Banner, the human being again, in certain spots, and then he's also being like Smart Hulk again.
Well, he has to have his strength. When he's training her, he has to have his Hulk strength.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I wonder how he was able to learn how to control the transformations. But Justin... go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, well, in the comics, it just happens. He just starts mending, what do you call it? The Hulk persona and his persona kind of come into one, and he's the green smart guy Hulk. Dr. Hulk, isn't that what they call him when he's the green one?
I don't know about Dr. Hulk.
Well, that's how he was at the end. I mean, by Endgame, he was able to control it to an extent, wasn't he? He was able to, because at one point he was in intermediate Hulk guy, Mr. Hulk, and then he was able to revert back to his normal human form, if I recall.
Yeah.
The
Justin,
Professor. That's what they call it.
Yes, Professor Hulk. Yes.
There we go.
Justin.
Yes.
What do you think? I mean, look. Do you think it's possible that a legal comedy, slash comedy slash drama with a little bit of action here and there and whatnot, could be better than Moon Knight?
Oh yeah, hands down. And this is a great time to bring Matt Murdock back. It's a great way to pull in those Netflix shows to the MCU now. The contained MCU. But yeah, I think so. And honestly, She-Hulk was always such a cool comic. It was always so smart and witty, and the enemies weren't always the best, but She-Hulk with the Avengers was always a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, she was was she in the West Coast Avengers?
That's a good question. Let me look it up real fast.
I think she was.
That would be an interesting. Yes, she was.
That's what I thought.
Yep. He was in the West Coast Avengers. I mean, they're moving towards that West Coast Avengers quickly.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have I read the West Coast Avengers comics for a long time. I followed them for a minute. I had the subscriptions and whatnot as a kid and everything and whatnot. So I read the books for a while. So I'm pretty familiar with the roster. That's why I've been pretty point on, like when we've talked about it and whatnot. Now, taking into consideration that we're actually going to talk about the legit confirmation of the Thunderbolts as a film coming out.
That's super cool.
It is. It's very interesting, and it'll be a fun segment. I'm looking forward to it. But as far as West Coast Avengers goes, honestly, Justin, I just don't know if it's tangible to think that they'll actually go in that direction really and split the team up and do it like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if they'll call it West Coast Avengers. They might just call it the New Avengers. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Hawkeye, Mockingbird, and I'm wondering if they're going to make Hawkeye's wife in the MCU Mockingbird. I'm really interested to see that.
What do you think? What do you think, Renee? I mean, I know you don't have a ton of comic book knowledge and whatnot and everything, but obviously you are aware of the fact that at one point in the comics, we had the West Coast Avengers and we had the East Coast Avengers, right?
Right, yeah.
What do you think about that premise? What if that did happen? I mean, what would you think if they split the team up into two teams with sort of a different identity with both squad?
Well, I think, like Justin said, they wouldn't necessarily have to, designate it, the West Coast Avengers as a team, because that would mean there's an East Coast Avenger. But they could just, it's just formatted differently, and it's got new characters in it, and that would be. But they're still working for the same objectives, That would be, but they'd just be located. I think didn't Stark have a lot of stuff out in the West Coast and all that. So I mean, they've probably got the facilities, for it and whatever. Because they've done a lot in New York and in the East, so they, maybe do some movies out on the West Coast, would be Los Angeles and whatnot, would be a change of pace for them. And so I don't know, they'll figure it out. I guess they're going to have the Thunderbolts, and I know that the Thunderbolts tend to be villains disguised as heroes, then you're going to have some real heroes to counterpoint them. So, yeah, if you've got a new set of Avengers, then you're going to have them fighting off the Thunderbolts. Or, I can see that happen.
Well, the Thunderbolts were actually there to save the world.
Well, yeah. Well, that could happen eventually, But in the beginning, they're adversaries.
Yes.
And then they sort of start seeing eye. You know how they do. It's all conflict and to build the tension and all that. However they're going to do it, I'm just speculating because they have to have something to play off of.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that, honestly, I don't want to get too deep into the Thunderbolts yet, but I want to see the She-Hulk for a minute, but I do want to just mention that, look, if we're going to get the Thunderbolts, and we're going to get the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men, right? And eventually the Avengers again, right? And then maybe like a female squad or whatever, like a female team of some kind. A-Force, yeah. Right? And the Midnight Suns, right? With Ghost Rider and Morbius and Blade and all that and whatnot.
Yep.
At that point, how many friggin' teams can you possibly have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah, they're already overloaded now, the way I see it. I can't see them building any more teams. I mean, if it looks like it's going to be Fantastic Four coming at some point. And,
yeah.
I think that's who they should get because that's one of the top most popular teams. It's never been done right, and here's their chance to do it now. Yeah, I can't see them if they're doing some, newer, younger Avengers. They could be the new young West Coast whatever Avengers. The Thunderbolts. Yeah, I think you're good at that point, and you still got Doctor Strange, whatever's going to go on with the Multiverse of Madness and Thor and whatever the Guardians and whatever they got getting ready to do. Yeah, it's getting a little overloaded, and I think unless they're going to keep some of this stuff to TV shows and just run it off as something that's happening in a different universe or something, they're just going to, I think, just. And one of the things I've been wanting to talk about, which we don't have to do tonight, maybe a different night, is just how it's getting to be a little burnout for particularly somebody like me who's just not that deep into the comics.
Oh, we're going to go there. We're going to go there, Renee.
Yeah, we don't have to do it tonight.
No, we're going to. We talked about it earlier today and whatnot, and I'm a man of my word. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, we will, I did not have a chance to talk to Justin about it and whatnot, but I'm sure he'll be happy and would agree that we should have the conversation as far as talking about where we're at right now, currently in Phase 4, what we've received so far from Marvel Studios and whatnot, and the fact that, for instance, after Renee and Lord Deathman saw Doctor Strange 2, her and I and Lord Deathman had a conversation in the studio before a show that was pretty thick and pretty serious about the reality that essentially Renee and Lord Deathman both felt like things seem unsettled a little bit, I guess, right? Is that not accurate, Renee?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and basically, so. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's too scattered. It's just like you just brought up just a little bit ago with all those different teams, and it's like what 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus what we've already gotten, up till now. It's just, yeah, I mean, I don't want to focus on it because I'm going to forget what's over here. You watch this set. Well, I've already forgotten what Shang-Chi was even about. I'm going to have to go back and look at it again. So it gets a little frustrating, and I wish they would tighten it up and get everybody on, at least give us a hint where they're going with this.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they made. Oh, I'm sorry, Renee.
Yeah, is it going to be Multiverse of Madness for the next couple years, or is it going to be something else? Is it, that's just. I just want to get a good idea at this point what Feige has up his sleeve.
Yep. And there's more to it too. There's the fact that we need to also have a little bit of a short chat, maybe in between the She-Hulk segment and then going into Thunderbolts, about the fact that people in the fandom overall, with all due respect, need to take a deep breath and chill the fuck out and whatnot and everything, and just roll with the punches and whatnot, and stay confident with Marvel Studios, and stay positive and be optimistic, and remember who Kevin Feige is and what the hell he's capable of. You know what I'm saying? The dude's a goddamn fucking monster. All right? You know? He's a genius. So, you know, unless he unfortunately spent the night at the free 5 o'clock free crack giveaway or something or whatever, you know, and hung out or something, and he's off now, I'd have to believe that he did not give us all his tricks and the best of him in phases 1 through 4. You know? Something tells me that if I had to bet money on somebody to have some good shit still laying around and whatnot later on in phase 5 and phase 6 and whatnot, it'd be Kevin Feige. So, bottom line, and I mean this honestly, and with some of you out there in the fandom, I mean this like sternly. Like, yo, stop bitching. Stop crying. Wake up. And just enjoy the fact that Marvel Studios is fucking awesome. They make really great content. Great shows. The Disney Plus series have been awesome. They've been very successful. They've been great. They've been better than the films at times. You know? And, again, it took a build-up over years and years and years, almost a decade, to give us Infinity War and Endgame. So, you know, come on now. At least give Kevin Feige and his team at least, like, 5 years this time. Okay? To, you know, set the record for, like, the highest grossing film ever again and shit and all that kind of stuff, you know?
Okay.
You know. And set the culture on fire.
Yep. Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. You know? Oh, and one last thing. I'm sorry, Justin. One last thing.
No, that's fine.
Those of you that are out there and whatnot on YouTube and whatnot, and you've got higher stats and bigger numbers in the bleeding edge and shit, and then me and whatnot, and maybe you have a bigger voice and you're out there, like, calling for the end of Marvel Studios, saying they're done, you are very illogical. And honestly, I think that you are essentially either stupid as fuck and delusional, or you're just like trying to be clickbait or whatever and trying to get attention. You know? Because I mean, seriously, even that freaking arrogant clown that I did that failed reaction video shit with and whatnot, like, you know, when he's not killing people, you know, knows.
With his farts.
Yep. When he's not killing people and burying me 6 feet under, he still squeezes in time to remember that Marvel Studios is still Marvel Studios. You know, Disney can be Disney and do what they do, but Disney is not going to ruin the MCU. Now, Justin, I apologize. Say what you wanted to say, unless I've taken your thunder now. I apologize.
No, not at all. You know, anytime the teams changed in the comic books, and I'll just use Guardians of the Galaxy. The first Guardians of the Galaxy was so different than what we see in the MCU. Anytime those teams changed, the comic book fans would throw fits. You know, but I mean, change is something that has to happen if they're going to keep the content fresh. You know, so it's inevitable. Change is inevitable. You just have to roll with it.
Definitely.
And hope that it's better.
I would definitely roll with a scenario where when we get our Bleeding Edge OnlyFans page up, I could potentially maybe borrow the ladies from the Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot for a little group action. A little private session with just me and them. I think it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you want to talk about diversity? Kevin Feige, Disney. We got Nebula, who's like a robot. Gamora's green. And Mantis has like weird shit coming off her head. Mm-hmm. So, hey.
But Gamora's dead.
No, other Gamora is still alive.
The multiverse Gamoras.
Yes.
You want the evil Gamora.
I'm sure the vagina is still the same. I wouldn't think that the multiverse would affect vaginas.
Well, it might. You don't know.
That's true. That's very true.
What a strange thing to think about.
I was actually saying in the one reaction video I did how cool it would be if I could be a part of an alien race where, in that alien race, when you go on a first date with a chick, instead of doing like regular sex, like vaginal, you do anal. From jump. As like the normal thing.
Well, I thought that was normal when you dated people.
Oh, shit. There you go, Renee. I love it. I appreciate that. I do. That is nice, Renee. Very nice. No, Renee, honestly, I'm a very ethical and respectful man. So I definitely hold off. I'm very patient, and I wait for my anal until at least round 2 of date 1. Yep. So just to be clear.
So what does she usually use on you?
Oh, geez, come on now. Are you kidding me? My asshole's so tight, you would be able to fit anything in there.
Oh, a pipe cleaner, okay.
Stuff only comes out of that bitch. Nothing comes in.
Sure.
I don't get down like that.
I don't want to smell those beads that are on your
Nah,
right
hey,
now.
look, I love gay dudes and whatnot. They're cool and shit. I'm down with like
Wait
with.
a minute. What? That's not good. Guys can do that with their girls.
You're right. You're right. Hey, look. Listen.
A butthole is a butthole.
Hey, I've had chicks offer to stick their fingers up there on me and whatnot and everything, and I was like, nope.
Now you're going too far.
I was like, nope, I don't think that sounds cool. But I did one time when I was like 18 have a chick toss my salad all of a sudden on me, and that shit was intense. That was a game changer.
Yeah, well, what were you talking about before?
Yeah, this took a weird turn.
Yeah, we just took a real weird turn there, Jeff. I apologize for participating in it too.
Oh, stop. You love it. You wouldn't want me any other way, and you know it.
Well, we got Justin here. If it were just you and I.
Honestly, even Alexis is starting to get to a point where she's even starting to warm up to me with this stuff and whatnot. I was saying some crazy shit to her on the phone and whatnot, and she was actually laughing for once. She really was. When I mentioned to her that she was telling me how innocent and sweet the little town she's at is right now and whatnot, or Comic-Con, I was like, yeah, till I show up and like completely poison and like destroy the ethical fiber of the entire like city just with my presence, because hey, I have that ability. But anyways, we over here at the Bleeding Edge are very professional about things, so you can believe it that when we do put up our OnlyFans on the Bleeding Edge, we will make sure that all the ladies and whatnot are of age, right? And we will obey all the guidelines and rules and everything and whatnot. I'm sure Kevin Feige and Disney would love the idea and the concept of an OnlyFans related to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But, back to She-Hulk, the Disney Plus series. Got a question for both of you. So, do you feel like, what do you think? Where are you at as far as like my premise? That I think that like potentially the She-Hulk series could be the best Disney Plus series we get this year. Alright, I mean, we're probably going to get Ironheart at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to get Echo? Justin, this year?
Man, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're. Let me look real fast.
Is she too busy, like giving dirty looks to people and shit to like produce to record? Oh, geez, you know what? Funny moment. I was on the podcast of Champions one time. We were doing a Hawkeye review, and we were talking about the scene where Echo's dad dies and shit, and he reaches up and like touches her face and all that stuff. And so Grandmaster goes to me and everything and whatnot for my turn. And I was like, well, you know what, Grandmaster? For me, in that scene, it would have been better if when the dad was dying, he would have reached out and grabbed her titties. You know? I would like that better. It would have been more effective. Hey, you know what? When you're dying, you got to get one last titty. This is how it has to be sometimes. But thank you very much, Drew. Honestly, I'm having a bit of multiverse burning right now. Okay. And that's a problem. Maybe just because we got Loki, What If, NWH, and Multiverse of Madness all in 11 months.
No Way Home.
Oh, No Way Home. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, hey, it was planned as a trilogy. So it was meant to be, you know, to come out in that span. And as far as the multiverse thing goes, hey, unless I'm misunderstanding something, they're done with it pretty much. You know, like, I mean, I think it's over.
The what now?
The whole multiverse deal. I think it's pretty much over. With the Doctor Strange movie, I think that's pretty much going to be like the death knell.
Well,
no, that's not how if you're this, what do you call it? The end credit scene with Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they wouldn't have brought what's her name, America, back into. Yeah, I mean, I know it's. I think that's going to continue. It may not be. The next movie might not be focused on that, but remember, that's the whole premise of Loki. At the end of Loki, where everything's starting to unravel. So yeah.
Well, no, that's time. That's time unraveling, which affects the multiverse. Mm-hmm. You know, but Charlize Theron at the end of Doctor Strange 2, she's playing what's her name? Doctor Strange's girlfriend from the comics. Mm-hmm. I can't remember her name for the life of me.
If you wouldn't have asked, I would have been able to.
Oh, but either way, she's Dormammu's daughter. So, I'm assuming probably, if anything, what they're going to end up teaming up on and whatnot and everything is that Dormammu is going to come back in some way. Mm. You know? So, is that somewhat kind of like a multiverse deal in a way? Yes. I'm just saying that in terms of the multiverse being in madness and all that, I think that's done.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
You know? Clea. There you go. Right. Clea. Yep, Clea. And I just want to point out there really quick, Marvel Studios, whatever like massive impact you thought like having Charlize Theron pop out like that and that end credit scene was going to be, I yawned. I'll be honest with you, I did. No, I'm just playing. I didn't yawn. No, I thought it was cool. I like Charlize Theron.
So we're not going to see in the future any more of these instances where we have X-Men coming over into the MCU.
I'm telling you right now, Renee.
Yeah.
Look, if I've said this on multiple shows. If they ever go in that direction at all, which I do not believe they ever would, if they actually try to introduce the X-Men through the multiverse, mm-hmm. I will be so burnt and pissed as a fan and wrong.
I'm just using that as an example. Like, we won't see any more of these other, like I think we're supposed to be the Earth 616 for the MCU. It's the basic, sort of the same timeline, but then they got the 1666 and whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
We are the 616. You're right.
Yeah. So we're not going to see any of those characters that we
No.
would not ordinarily see in this particular timeline.
No.
We'll never see those.
No, what
Man,
we're
I hope we do.
What we're gonna see is Kang, and Kang's a time traveler.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what Kang does. Kang doesn't jump universes and dimensions; he jumps time. So at that point, there actually are fans out there that are a little confused and whatnot about their history with Kang and whatnot, and they think that Kang is somehow like involved with the multiverse. He's not. That's not what he does. He doesn't do infinity. He doesn't do Infinity Stones or multiverse. Nah, he's got his own thing going on.
I don't know. You know, Renee, what the X-Men? I would love to see the X-Men in this verse, in this universe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's the conceit, the multiverse, whatever you want to call it, multi-time, it's converging timelines or converging multi-dimensions, whichever it is. And maybe it's going to be both. Who knows? They'll have a double helix going on and stuff. Hey, the conceit has to be there to bring these characters in from another realm without just starting the whole thing over. You know what I'm saying? No point in starting over the X-Men because we already know their history. We can just bring Wolverine, or just like they did Professor X. Bring these people in at key moments when these dimensions merge or diverge or whatever, because it's all roiling and being unraveled because of the timelines are going unraveling.
Well, Justin, you're not saying actually that you support the idea of actually having the introduction of the X-Men being coming out of the multiverse, are you?
Yeah.
You are.
I would love to see.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I would love to see Wolverine in the Avengers. And honestly, over the years, you have a lot of crossovers between X-Men and the Avengers.
But wait a minute, Wolverine is already there. He's already in the MCU. He's just not there. Like we don't see him yet. Like we're not aware of him. But based off of the 616, history and whatnot and everything, and like his backstory, he's there.
Right.
Like he participated in World War II and World War I and all that shit.
But he's not. But that Wolverine is not the Wolverine over in the X-Men universe.
It can be.
Well, hopefully. Sorry, Renee.
No, go ahead, Justin.
So, hopefully, we get a reboot of the X-Men, because the X-Men timeline, Fox's X-Men timeline, was stupid and convoluted. Having Disney take over the X-Men property and doing it right, I would like to see that, because I'm a big fan of the X-Men and have been since I was a kid. I'm
just surprised that, like, honestly, as a comic book fan and whatnot, like you are, like I am, I'm just surprised that you aren't more loyal, I guess, to the comic book origin, of the X-Men, where there's that organic dichotomy or reality where, mutants are here and they're there and everything and whatnot. And we end up getting what we've heard in rumors, a original X-Men team similar to the comic book one, where we get like the original 5 X-Men, and they basically just pop up in public as mutants all of a sudden, and they're there. I personally feel like it would be kind of very comic book inaccurate to use the multiverse as the vehicle to give us the X-Men.
No, I agree. It needs to be. You're right. It needs to be more organic.
If you do it like that, then what about Weapon X? What about like Wolverine getting his adamantium claws and his exoskeletons and all that stuff and whatnot? And
Well, all that stuff was so behind the scene, and in the comics, you don't really, the world doesn't really know about the X-Men until X-Force comes out. The original 5 X-Men, create X-Force, and that is kind of the face of mutants to the mass populace.
Wait a second. I thought X-Force was the team that Cable had, built.
X-Factor. I'm sorry. X-Factor.
X-Factor was the team that Maura McTaggart, put together for Charles Xavier.
Right.
Where the X-Men were on vacation, they took a break or whatever?
I think you're thinking of the Mur Island saga.
Yeah.
Where they went to Mur Island to hide.
Okay.
But...
yeah, and X-Factor was essentially the mutants that Maura McTaggart had been, teaching, and she gave them over to Charles Xavier.
Actually, it was Cyclops, Cyclops and Havoc were maybe we need something a little bit more public and stop being so secretive. So I can't remember the guy's name that created, that gave rise to the X-Force, or X-Force, I keep on saying X-Force, X-Factor. But they just thought that it was time for mutants to have a more public face. If they're going to be saving the world as the X-Men, there needs to be a public face so that humans can start trusting mutants,
So was a part of that making sure that, Polaris was, drawn as, having triple Ds and, a perfect ass at all times?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I think that's the whole reason they did it.
Yep. And they just gave it the green hair to make it X-Men-y.
Right.
Well, here comes the problem. Where the hell have these people been while the Avengers have been out there busting their ass? Here again, you get that same, like in the Eternals. Who were you guys when Thanos was attacking and Loki was attacking planet Earth? Where were you guys sitting on your ass?
They missed an opportunity. They missed an opportunity, Renee.
Same thing in Moon Knight. There were the Egyptian people. Where were they? Where were all these giant alligator people? When Loki was. You keep getting all these complications that keep hitting, and it's come on, it gets there's a murder every week in Cabot Cove. It starts to get to be jumping the shark time on some of this stuff.
Renee, I'm telling you, they missed an opportunity with the Eternals because the Eternals was a terrible movie, and it could have.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we've had this whole build-up where it started out. Nobody on planet Earth, with the exception of the people of S.H.I.E.L.D., who had we only found out later was in contact with Captain Marvel. But as far as human race, we only knew the aliens ever existed. That anything weird ever happened on this planet, for sure, was when Thor's hammer hit the Earth. And that's when we all began to learn about Iron Man, and we began to learn about Captain America and all that, his adventures, and then we all these other things. But everybody up to that point had never heard of Captain America or had totally forgotten it. Because there was no indication that people knew that aliens were possible at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, listen, hey.
It's getting more and more complicated, So now we have another complication. Well, here were these X-Men that's been standing around waiting, for 20 or 40 years doing nothing, while S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers have been battling the aliens. And I think the dog's...
Yeah, sorry.
Well, honestly, Renee, I actually know a guy who could give you all the answers to all your questions and whatnot and everything, and he's going to end up becoming the actual official economist for the Bleeding Edge.
Due to inflation, one good girl is now worth 1,132.13 bitches.
There you go. That guy right there, I'm telling you right now, he'll answer all your questions.
Yeah, well, where was he when
Yep.
the Avengers were battling Thanos?
He was banging his drum and shit.
Right.
Yep.
So, in the comics, the X-Men were always hidden. The only time they ever came out was when something big happened for mutant kind. You know, that threatened mutant kind. So, yeah, I mean, honestly,
Yeah, okay,
how...
yeah, I think destroying the Earth would threaten mutant kind along
Yeah,
with the
no, I totally agree with you. And there were several X-Men that were in the superhero team that actually went to take on Thanos in the comics, and Marvel just kind of overlooked that altogether to create the MCU. You know, to create what they did with the MCU.
Yeah.
Yep, and like I was saying, with the Eternals, they could have legitimately just said that because of the snap, and then the Hulk snap, just like that energy and whatnot was enough to cause the celestial egg to like birth and everything and whatnot, it also is capable and powerful enough to activate the X gene in mutants. And we could have got mutants right there.
Okay,
I
but
could go
that
with
would be the mutants have already. But if we take the X-Men premise, remember Magneto and all those, they started back in World War II.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, we can't have that because that same history couldn't have. To me, it's just way too much.
And that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
And like Kevin Feige's job gets interesting and whatnot. And you have to respect the guy because like how he's going to make all that shit work. Hey.
You know, and it's starting to speak to my thing because here I'm starting to get anxious. Oh my God, are we going to have X-Men 2? What are we going? You know, oh my God, it's getting to be too big, too overwhelming. You know, I can't handle X-Men, and
well, they do X-Men 2.
And if they don't have, and I gotta have Fantastic Four. I mean,
if they do X-Men 2, I want to be in X-Men 3. Where it's just me and like all of the female X-Men chilling.
Okay, the X-Men.
You know? Yep. And I want the 90s comic book version too.
X-ladies.
That's right. I want the 90s comic book version of them too and whatnot, where they all looked like they were like legitimately curvy as hell and had like massive breasts, all of them.
Well,
Every single one.
The little 10-inch waists.
Yep. They had Storm, Jean Grey, Rogue, like Cyclops. They all looked sexy as hell and whatnot, and were busted out. Then you had Jubilee, and she was just like boring and like flat chested.
That's terrible. She had sparkles coming out of her hands.
Yeah, she had no abilities at all. She was pathetic. She had about as much value as the Rogue in the Fox X-Men movies. Who was essentially just there, who was actually your couch that was essentially subbing in for you in the beginning of the show, actually provided more value to the live stream than the Rogue and the X-Men films gave in all the films.
Okay.
And that is extremely cool because anytime a piece of furniture can be talented like that, that is definitely unique. But back to She-Hulk. Last question, guys. Go to you, Justin. She-Hulk Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
What is the potential? What is the pros or the cons? If it could be the best Disney Plus series we get this year from Marvel.
Oh man, I don't see very many cons. Tim Roth coming back as the Abomination. We have Mark Ruffalo, which is incredible. Why? I still don't get why they don't give him a movie. But having him in a Disney Plus series to what's a good word? Man, I don't know. To help She-Hulk along with her progression into becoming a superhero, I think that's awesome. I think that's worth the watch. More than anything else is. Because, like I said before, She-Hulk had weird villains.
Yes.
So seeing what they do with the property and just seeing the trailer makes me want to watch the show. The whole her transforming was cool, and the CG looks spot on as well. So I don't see any cons here. Not yet, anyway. Maybe when the first episode drops, we can talk more then.
That's fair. Renee, what do you think? What's your take in terms of the potential of the She-Hulk Disney Plus series?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, anything's possible. I'm always open and positive with all of them. I'm not going to prejudge something I haven't seen. Just on surface, Justin was saying that he's read a lot of them and they're clever and I guess sort of bring in that sort of sitcom liveliness that some of the really good sitcoms that I'm not talking about regular ones, like Fred and Ethel and that type of stuff, but smart, witty, talking about issues that it's not just the superhero stuff. It's also talking about issues in their lives and whatnot, and just that kind of a show. I don't know how much potential there's going to be for a lot of the violence and action that the fans are going to want, but I'm sure they'll have enough of it. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, I like Moon Knight a lot. I think that the last episode I think was a letdown, so that kind of took a lot of points off of it for me as far as that show. But if they could do something that's written, at least has that good of writing, I'll be happy with it.
Who did the writing for She-Hulk? Do we know?
Hold on, I'll tell you. Sorry, I just got to, I've got to flip from, my, my BDSM, support group.
Jessica Gao.
There you go. I've even heard of her before.
Never heard of her.
I actually have, believe it or not.
Who has she done? I guess I should go look.
She's
at her
done something.
IMDb.
She's done something because I've heard of her. I've heard her name. I definitely have.
Let's see. She worked on the 3rd season of Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
She wrote for Silicon Valley, Robot Chicken.
That's
Kung Fu
right.
Panda.
That's right. They brought her from Rick and Morty, and they got the guy from Rick and Morty to do Loki.
Yep. Smart.
Most definitely. So, folks, before we move on to our Thunderbolt segment, I have a very positive, heartwarming, game-changing, classic, truly all about Marvel and Marvel Comics and like the beginning of it and whatnot, and the guy who started it and whatnot type video to play. And I think that Justin will be very, very pleased and whatnot and surprised to see it. Renee may already know what I'm going to play, but we shall see.
Okay.
DD Mega Doo-Doo. I'm sorry.
Yep, there you go. No, I'm just kidding.
That poor girl.
Oh, I forgot. The Prey trailer.
Yes.
Hey, let's do that first. Hey, folks. There's a new Predator movie coming out. Can you believe it? It's called Prey. And it looks really cool.
It does.
It looks so cool that, like, honestly, it's probably better than the last Predator movie they made, which I never saw. And the one before that I did see on that weird planet or whatever and whatnot. This looks better.
Why do you want to hunt? Because you all think that I can't. I saw a sign in the sky. I'm ready. Maui, Nita. There's something out there. I'm coming with you.
You can't.
I'm trying to protect you.
Protect me from what? It's time.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really was.
What'd you think, Renee? What do you think about the premise of the new Predator film?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's it kind of marries the science fiction-y part of the Predator coming from outer space with Native American legends of skinwalker. How they would have made sense of this, and they would have called it like a skinwalker or a sky people or a sky person, something like that. I did notice that there looked like some settlers in there, so it's probably set maybe in the early, sort of, I guess, trapper days, when the early 18th century or something like that.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Justin, I know we talked a little bit about this already, but what are your feelings on this whole new concept or this whole new premise for Predator?
Love it. I love it. And I love that it's going straight to Hulu instead of going to the theater.
Oh, it is? Oh, hey, I didn't know about that.
Well, that's what it said, appearing on Hulu on...
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No.
What's the date, Justin?
It was like August 5th, I think. August 6th. Hold on, let me make sure I say it right. Prey on Hulu. Well, damn. Streaming on Hulu August 5th. So, I mean, quick. When we get it quick.
Awesome. Well, hey.
Yeah.
All I can say is that, hey, I love anything historic like that. The fact that it's Indians and it's like old school, it's historic, it's it's going back in the day. I love it. And as far as if they had to do another adaptation of the Predator films, I like where they went with it.
Yeah, get it away from modern day where we have the terrible Predator 2 with Danny Glover. That was horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. Predator and Aliens have always been two of my favorite sci-fi horror, You grew up with them, you want them to succeed. And I think taking it away from modern day and putting it to where the Predator first came to Earth, I think it sets it up for a long history of the Predator race coming down to Earth.
I do think it's slightly illogical, though, that this, 15-year-old girl or whatever that weighs, 75 pounds is going to, beat the Predator's ass and shit when the Predator, straight up, jumped up real quick and whatnot and picked up a goddamn bear over his head.
So the Predator was always something... The way they always beat the Predator was outthinking it. It never came down to just muscle.
Well, hey, you know what? Have you talked to any 15-year-old girls lately? I'll tell you right now, as far as,
You're on the air there, Jeff.
Oh, no. I just want to point out that I have an 18-year-old daughter, for instance, and hey, look, let's just say that, her thinking and, her logic skills and whatnot and everything, and ability to, outsmart people and whatnot are a little shaky.
Yeah, but this is where it's, kill or be killed.
Yeah.
She's a survivor. These people know how to survive the wilderness. They know the forest better than the Predator does.
Right.
Hey, the Predator better stay away from the sand people, man. The Tuscans will fuck the Predator up. Yay.
And now that Disney has the property, we might see that crossover.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be down for that. I would. I go to the theaters and pay for that. I'm in it to win it for anything with the Tuscans in it, man. The Sand People are fucking awesome. Can't understand anything they say at all. No clue. They don't do shit. They're lazy as hell. You never see them do anything. And they act like they're retarded half the time, whenever they do anything. In the one episode, water, spills out of a canister or whatever, and they're, shaking their weapons, up and down and everything, Jesus Christ was just reborn or whatever and everything. Hey, gotta love them, man, the Tuscans.
Well, they sound like donkeys, so nobody can understand them.
It's actually, you know what it is? It's that they're so intellectual that they're above, they're on some new shit where they were like, you know what? We're just not even going to, try to communicate with people anymore. We're going to, purposely speak gibberish to everybody. So actually, that's what they're doing. That's all gibberish.
So they're just a cult living out in the desert.
Yeah, there's actually no meaning at all or any tangible. They're not actual words. You know, they just go in those three huts every once in a while, get stoned, and come up with fucking weird, chattering sounds to make here and there and whatnot. That they laugh at people afterwards. Like, yo, can you believe that guy actually thought I was talking to him? Go ahead, Justin.
I think they put their curse on the Boba Fett.
So I'm wondering if they're going to actually tie the comics, the new Marvel comic Predator, in with the live action. That would be interesting.
What do you mean? What do you mean, like, with the live action? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like the Alien and the Predator together?
No. So the Predator comic comes out July 6th. And on Marvel now owns the property. I'm wondering if they're going to keep the live action Prey as canon for the comic. I mean, that would be seriously interesting.
Well, real quick, I just want to point out, folks, as you see right here on the bottom of the screen, next week, in a groundbreaking moment of YouTube reaction video history, TrueKnowledge himself, me, of course, I will be breaking records and shit and reacting to myself smoking crack for the first time in my life and whatnot and everything, and on YouTube history. Yep. It's going to be very unique and, very interesting. So,
That's
make sure you
get taken down real quick.
Yep, make sure you tune in for that.
Yeah, I think you might. We'll literally react to smoking crack. Well, now that's different than saying to my smoking crack.
Yo,
you may have a potential felony.
Listen, Renee, don't even lie. Don't even lie. You know it. If I found some fake shit or whatever that I could pretend was crack, and I made a reaction video where I smoked crack and reacted to it and whatnot with fake crack, you would watch that shit and laugh your ass off.
Yeah, I'd be waiting on the FBI to break the door down or something.
It'd be quick, too.
See, the truth is, Justin, honestly, that at times during the shows, Renee actually mutes herself and, like, pretends that, like, she's all stoic and shit, when in reality, she's, like, falling out on the things I'm saying. She just doesn't want to give me, like, the credit, you know?
Well, if you put up the statement, we'll see you react to smoking crack. That could be you watching somebody on YouTube smoke it, which is not illegal.
Well, hey.
Smoke crack on YouTube, that is illegal.
The key to reaction videos is authenticity. So at that point, I've got to smoke crack. Yep.
Okay.
Me. Yep. It's got to be me. It's got to be me individually.
Right.
And yep. Okay. And hey.
Where are you going to get?
Hey, look.
Well, I can't say yet.
Like
you won't be able to get it for the show.
Streets of Bradenton Beach.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'll call that arrogant, condescending clown world douchebag guy real quick, and when he has a break from killing people and shit on the streets and whatnot, maybe he can sell me some crack.
I think you can score some Metamucil down there.
Yep. But he'll probably want to negotiate with me and shit and be like, I'll only sell you crack if you go to an ICP concert with me.
As my girlfriend.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love being with people. It's the most incredible thing in the world.
What are you doing? Oh, this is nice.
That world may change and evolve. But the one thing that will never change, we're all part of one big family. That man next to you, he's your brother. That woman over there, she's your sister.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
That's right.
We're all part of one universe
Wakanda forever!
that moves ever upward and onward to greater glory.
On your left. Avengers!
I've lived a lot of lives. But I'm done running from my past. We have unfinished business.
Who's we?
When you love something, you fight for it. We're the ones who changed everything.
There you go, Justin. That's what I wanted to play for you, brother.
Man, that was beautiful.
Isn't that fun?
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
Yep.
It never gets old. It never does. I'm telling you right now. I felt like I wanted to play that just because, in a way, it sort of sideways connects to the conversation we had for a moment about people need to take a deep breath right now with Marvel Studios and whatnot, and where things are going and shit, and just chill. And I think that video kind of connects in a way where, in my mind, I feel like people need to remember, right? Stan Lee's words and what he was about and what Marvel Comics stood for, you know? And what its stances were about and like what it was willing to fight for, you know? And that, again, we're dealing with a situation where you've got Stan Lee in that video where, like, he literally, it's like haunting hearing him talk. Mm-hmm. It is. And I'm in awe of, like, the sound of his voice being played behind those scenes. It's just, it's awesome. Very impactful. And it just makes me think that, hey, like, look, not only do we have Kevin Feige, you know, but we've got somebody that's deceased and yet is still larger than life and whatnot, and so impactful and so intrinsic to everything that's good about Marvel and Marvel Comics and these characters and these stories and whatnot and everything. And so I wanted to play that video because I think that it's a good reminder of, you know, what at the end of the day we're working with in terms of what the actual core themes are of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And as I guess maybe sad as it is, where we're at right now, culturally and whatnot, in our society, we need something like Marvel Studios, and we need something like Marvel Comics and these superheroes and these stories to actually bridge the gap between people enough to where they can goddamn get along, you know, and respect each other, and respect to have different opinions.
Yeah,
on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's one of the things that I've enjoyed about coming on these podcasts with you and also with Grandmaster at Podcast of Champions is it
wasn't this?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was more bratwurst, but anyway.
Oh.
With you guys, and I was getting ready to compliment you too, Jeff. You know.
Come on, hey, I had to fuck it up first. No, please compliment me. Please compliment me.
I'm gonna use a bad word here. I'm gonna call it a safe space where we can come and we don't have to worry. We don't have to talk about that other stuff. We can talk about what we agree on, what we all of us enjoy, and just get, like you say, just get along, get to know each other as people, and find out, hey, you know what, that person's not what I thought it was. That person's pretty cool. And I think this is what these shows provide and what you provide and what Grandmaster and others provide. And so I appreciate that. And trying not to get back to what the spoiler culture, I think too much of what we kind of see on the internet and some of the people we interact with, all they want to do is just spoil your fun. That's all. They just want to tear it down, to deconstruct your happiness.
Renee, some of them are doing it flat out just for views and likes and stats.
Yeah. I mean, they're just doing it because that's all they know how to do. That's how they get. Sadly, that's how they get their fun, which is a sad commentary on anybody that has to. A friend of mine, it probably not original to her, but she would call people like that soul vampires. They can just suck the life right out of a person, and. This is not the place for that, and Jeff is not a soul vampire. He is a chocolate vampire.
That's right.
Yum.
Yep. And I just want to point out real quick before I throw it to Justin, just that at the end of the day, we're gonna remain optimistic over here on the Bleeding Edge and whatnot, and focus on the fact that really, really solid, legit, tangible connections and friendships and relationships and whatnot are occurring behind the scenes and whatnot, and really cool, special, stories, I guess, and premises, people coming together, like me meeting, Renee, and thinking back to, us initially meeting and, her first coming on the Bleeding Edge and whatnot, to where now she's one of the few human beings on Earth that I legitimately respect to the point where I will take advice from her and whatnot in a conversation, and she actually gives a shit about me, as a person and whatnot, and cares about me enough and whatnot to check on me personally, make sure I'm okay sometimes and whatnot, and the fact that I can meet someone like Justin and shit, and through just making content together and talking about Marvel and whatnot, and chilling and doing a recording and whatnot, doing a live stream together and shit, we're able to build a friendship out of it, that produces results like our 2-hour-long conversations that we have together and shit on the phone. And then on top of that, creates a situation where for the first time in his podcast guesting, career, Justin gets to go on a show and actually legitimately have a great fucking time, and and feel comfortable, and he belongs. And hey, all of that revolves around the fact that we focus on Marvel Studios and Marvel Comics and the MCU and these characters and these stories.
And Stanley's ethos.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And Also, on top of that, the fact that we're going to bring back female nudity eventually. We're going to have it in the MCU. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're fighting.
Along with male nudity.
Yep, male nudity too. We're fighting for it. You know?
50.
And the fact that there's a slight chance that Captain Marvel 2, the Marvels, could actually be better than Captain Marvel to the degree that, honestly, it could literally be almost as good as Venom 2. Yep, that's right.
My God. Venom 2 was hot garbage. Did you guys like Venom 2?
I've never seen it. I don't do this. I don't do the Venom. That's where I draw the line right there.
Really? Because I mean, aren't we going to see Venom in the MCU?
God, I hope not. Unless this is a jokey, kind of a, off the wall joke type thing.
Well, I mean, at the end of Spider-Man No Way
Hey, look,
Home,
we got Jeff's twin brother was there for a
Hey!
minute.
I knocked the damn plug out of the outlet.
nice.
Yeah, my MacBook died.
I was gonna say bring Barry back.
Hey, when somebody takes you 6 feet under and shit, stuff happens.
Right.
But hey, you know what? I'm a pro, so here I am. I'm back.
Well, I love that Falcon and Winter Soldier poster you have there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot I wanted to show you my posters.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I had to get it. Justin, it's a great poster.
Yeah, it is a great poster.
And they even have Sharon Carter in it, too, and Zemo's in it. Oh, did you even see my t-shirt?
No, I hadn't seen. Oh, nice.
I can't see. What is it? Stevie Nicks?
No. It's Sharon Carter from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
Oh, okay.
I got the whole series of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier t-shirts with all the characters.
Oh, that's cool. Where'd you find those?
Oh man. Hot Topic?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, Hot Topic and Redbubble are typically the best spots. Not for pricing at the end of the day, but as far as being able to find anything you want, you'll find it there. So anyway, speaking of which, I apologize, folks, for that brief inconvenience, and I want to just thank my wonderful loyal guest for holding it down while I was briefly just hitting my crack pipe for a minute. You know, I wanted to go ahead and jump into this whole premise of the fact that we are going to be, I guess, being blessed with the concept of the Thunderbolts in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which is very interesting. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure what I think about it so far. But why don't we go ahead and figure out what we actually know officially at this point? As far as what I've got from the Illuminati.com, Thrilling Thunderbolts film officially in production with Jack Schreier set to direct for Marvel Studios. And I will pull this up real quick and display it on the screen. There we go. The Illuminati's a great source. Good outfit. They break some pretty good news here and there. So, let's see. In the comics, the Thunderbolts are a team of reformed villains and anti-heroes assembled by Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross to replace the Avengers. The team is consisted of many different characters from throughout the Marvel Universe, and lots of these characters are already a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Teasers for the Thunderbolts film were present in many Phase 4 projects, including but not limited to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Moving on. This project's been said to be Disney's answer to 2021's The Suicide Squad, which is very interesting as the MCU is yet to have put the spotlight on their gallery of villains. The only example of this so far is Loki, which only just released last year. The wording of comparing this project to the Suicide Squad leads us to believe that many of the characters in this film might not make it out alive. So, in conclusion with this article, who will form this team and who will join? With the Avengers seemingly inactive in the current MCU, it's a perfect time for the Thunderbolts to fill the void. While in the comics, the team was formed and led by Thaddeus Ross, who would act as the Red Hulk. The film's version of this team will likely have a new person recruiting members for the Thunderbolts, and for the passing of William Hurt, the actor who portrayed the character in The Incredible Hulk, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and Black Widow. Chances are Marvel will not recast the role. Now, this is interesting. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine to lead. This team might be named to honor Ross, as it could be revealed that he had been planning to assemble his team all along. Perhaps Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, could take on the role of recruiter for this team. As is, it already looks to be the case. Fontaine appeared in 2 Marvel Cinematic Universe projects in Phase 4, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow, where she recruited John Walker and Yelena Belova, respectively, for unknown missions. It could be revealed she was working on behalf of Thaddeus Ross. Now, they're going to go ahead and throw out for the roster the Abomination, the Winter Soldier, Ghost from Ant-Man 2, Baron Zemo, Taskmaster, Deadpool, Punisher, Songbird. And there you go. There is a possible picture of what the Thunderbolts will look like with Val blowing her nose. And that's the gist of it. So, as I look to flip back to my MacBook Pro, and I drop this share screen, starting with you, Justin.
Yep.
As far as, I guess to begin the questions, as far as who will lead the Thunderbolts, who will actually start the Thunderbolts and tell them what to do and give them their missions and whatnot and everything, taking into consideration the fact that we did lose William Hurt.
Yeah.
Where does it go at that point? What do you think?
Man, I don't know. What is the Thunderbolt without, or the Thunderbolts without Thunderbolt Ross? You know?
Yeah.
And you need the Red Hulk. I mean, they're going to have to cast someone as the Red Hulk. But as far as actually, I'm pretty excited about this. Thunderbolts was a fun comic, but I don't know how they're going to do it without recasting that role. I mean, you need Thunderbolt Ross to be the Red Hulk.
Agreed. Sorry. No, I agree. And I don't understand for a second why at all it makes sense for them to not recast the William Hurt role. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Dumbledore situation. You can't have Hogwarts without Dumbledore. So it's gonna have to be recast.
Yeah, I mean, how would it be insulting to William Hurt in any way, shape, or form as an actor or personally as a person or whatever and whatnot if they recast the role? I mean,
No.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, the Black Panther, that was sort of different because it was such easy. The actor's a young man, the tragedy and all that. William Hurt, he was always a side character, sort of a villain, sort of, they're dodgy and all that. Yeah, I think they could easily recast him with another actor about his age or maybe even a little younger. William Hurt was getting a little on up there, to tell you the truth, for the character. I always thought Thunderbolt was more of a middle-aged guy, but anyway, they'll figure it out. I mean, they got the building blocks already for it. Like you mentioned, the Julia Louis-Dreyfus character, kept trying to figure out what she's doing. They kept having her at the end, coming in and out and recruiting people. So obviously that's what she's doing. So
Kevin Feige says she's going to have a massive impact and role in the MCU.
Yeah, she's probably either if she's not the head honcho, she'll be part of it. The Doctor Strange kind of character. Or not Doctor Strange, but the Doctor Strange love type character.
No, and something tells me, Renee, that, honestly, William Hurt did not feel like his playing Thunderbolt Ross was the defining, shit of his career or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, he was a fine actor, had many great roles.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Thunderbolt Ross.
it would almost be insulting if they didn't recast it.
Right, exactly.
So, at that point, I feel like, what do you think, Renee? What if Baron Zemo was the leader of, the Thunderbolts, and he gives, the orders, right? And Bale kind of pulls the strings, but Zemo kind of runs the show and whatnot. Do you feel like coming off of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he's popular to a point where it would make sense to throw him in that position?
Yeah, I mean, he's they've never done a lot with Baron Zemo, and he's like one of the major villains who's kind of always was kind of ambiguous as far as his villainy. He could be good too, but yeah, and I think who's it, Daniel Bruhl who plays him?
Yep.
He's a very popular actor. I mean, yeah, I think he absolutely he could do it. So yeah, if they go that way, it'd be a good route.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, Daniel Bruhl's a great actor, and I guarantee he probably does go that way. Both ways, probably, in real life. He's got that vibe to him. But anyways, Justin, what do you think? Baron Zemo leading the Thunderbolts.
I think that's a good. I think that would be a great idea. I think that the actor is popular enough. I think that Zemo is a well-known enough villain. I don't see any negatives there.
And there's sympathy to this particular Baron Zemo because he lost his family in Sokovia. So so there's he's a villain, but there's potential for redemption there.
No, and they demonstrated it very, very subtly, and they didn't show a lot, but they demonstrated in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier that when he wants to, He is extremely efficient and capable and tactical.
And got a lot of money somewhere.
Yes. But no, there's
he's
more.
a baron.
There's more to him than the meets the eye still. They have not yet shown completely what he's all about yet and revealed his full, deal, I think. And honestly, it would not surprise me if they've had him in the plans for a while, in the behind the scenes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And who knows? Knowing Kevin Feige, he might have locked him down right after Civil War. I mean, hey, they say that they plan out 3, 4, 5 years ahead at all times. So, hey, at Endgame, when they made Endgame, that means they were already planning Phase 4.
I think it was Samuel L. Jackson. I heard just the other day he did. It may have been somebody else, but I think it was him that he signed up for like seven pictures. When he signed his first, the potential was for 7 more pictures that he had to sign for that. Now that didn't mean they were going to make 7 more pictures, but they had him for that block of time.
Yep. Yeah, that's how. I mean, yeah, because Justin and I have had a conversation about this personally. When they first started the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that was the actual modus operandi of Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige. They were making a full-blown effort to lock down all of the key actors and actresses to long-term contracts, which at that point was very novel in the industry.
Well, reintroduced, yeah, that was the old way of doing it back in the day.
Yes, it was, but this was at a different scale and in a different way. This was in a way where we're talking about, not just a film production company signing a actor to a 7 appearance or picture deal where every picture is like an independent entity. This was the concept where these people were going to play the same character for 8 movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so they have to do promotional. They sign in for a certain amount of that. They have to put in time for that. So they get well paid, but they have to put in work for it too.
Yes. And hey, what do you think, Justin? I mean, look, people. I'm tired of the multiverse shit. I am. I'll be honest with you. I'm over it. I don't care anymore. I don't. I don't care, and I'm over it. And at that point, do you think that maybe it might actually be really cool if they just went back to like some just straight up, like street level, on
violence?
Earth, yes, hand-to-hand combat, some dark shit here and there. You know what I mean? Like some dark undertones. And like at the end of the fucking movie, the bad guys win, type shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's going to have to be how it is with the Thunderbolts. The bad guys are going to have to win.
Yeah, they're the anti-heroes.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah. Honestly, I think that trying to compare it to Suicide Squad is a mistake. Suicide Squad is a great movie. Well, both of them were very entertaining. And as a Task Force Z fan, I love seeing it on screen. But Thunderbolts was so much bigger in scale than the Suicide Squad that I think Marvel has a lot more to work with than B-list villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, slaughtering, knocking them off.
Yeah. And really quick, everybody, I just want to remind everyone, over here at the Bleeding Edge, we support women's sports, and here's an advertisement. There you go. The Bleeding Edge, supporting women's sports every day. And as far as Thunderbolts goes, I feel like, I don't know, you know what? I mean, hey, I don't know, like, the overall tone of the fandom at any given time. I don't. I can't judge the overall demand for any real, like, direction that they want to see anything go right now with Marvel. I don't know what they want, to tell you the truth. Do they want, like, another Endgame film next year or, like, next week or some shit? I have no idea. I don't. But I think that... No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
How could you give another Endgame without a build-up?
I can tell you right now I can do it. If you just have me be hired as the assistant coach for the Young Avengers, but only the female ones, right?
Right.
And then you do some videotaping and some private sessions, some coaching and therapy and whatnot. I do some training with them. That could be, as a film, when you put it all together, another Endgame.
I see.
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
So
in gamer.
Yep. The final battle, instead of like the final battle or whatever if I gave, it would be like the final threesome.
Classy.
Yep.
Classy.
Of course, Miss Marvel would only be watching because she's 16.
Right.
She can't be watching.
She'd be studying.
She can't be studying.
Yep. Hey, listen, you gotta be dedicated.
It's called grooming.
Hey, when you're gonna be the Avenger eventually and whatnot, you gotta be ready.
So we know that the new Endgame is going to be Secret Invasion.
Do we know that?
Well, I mean, that Marvel wouldn't be pushing it as much as they have. You know,
how much are they pushing it? Just because they're doing a Disney Plus series with it, and they're gonna cut it to the Marvels?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Secret Invasion. Wait. So Secret Invasion was going to be a TV series?
It's gonna be a Disney Plus series. Or no. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Secret Invasion. They're doing the one with Nick Fury.
Right. I thought it was going to be a movie for some reason.
No, it's going to be a Disney Plus series, which is then going to tie into the Marvels.
Gotcha. Well, it has to. You know, the whole Kree scroll back and forth. You know, they're going to have to.
But I think that they're just going to basically morph the whole story into like making it work into those two productions, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That can't be it. I mean, Secret Invasion was huge. You know.
Yeah.
It was an Infinity War level crossover in the comics.
But do you not believe that there are other storylines that crossed over across the comic book spectrums and whatnot and everything, big event type, deals other than that could be a potential future goal?
Sure. Yeah, there's a ton. But, I mean, that's, man, I can't imagine. Well, I guess it could work. I mean, if they're an hour episode, I think they could make that work. Give it, but I mean, they're going to have to really put some big name actors in there, to give it the epic scale. Well, you know what? Them introducing Mark Ruffalo in She-Hulk, that they're setting a precedent there. Like, hey, we have Tim Roth, we have Mark Ruffalo, who are now megastar. Well, Mark Ruffalo being a megastar. We have them in a TV show where they're not the main character. I think that they could do a lot with Secret Invasion.
Let me ask you both the question. Renee, you first. Is there a possibility maybe that with the whole advent of Disney Plus, right? And the Disney Plus series, okay, as this new vehicle for them, right, to introduce characters, do origin stories and all that, you know, is it possible at all, maybe, that, now that Disney's evolved and things are changed, and they've kind of changed the formula a little bit and whatnot in terms of how they're going about things from phase to phase to build things up, is it possible, you think, that, yes, they still have the 4 or 5 year plan and shit, but at the same time, they're actually much more cognizant of the reality of the actual real-time energy of the fandom and what they want, and also how they react to these series as they come out and whatnot? And is it possible that, knowing they've got Fantastic Four coming out, the X-Men coming out, another Avengers team being put together and coming out eventually, is it possible at all that maybe Kevin Feige's decided to change things up a little bit and be like, you know what? We're going to wait 3 years, then we'll decide what big climatic event we're going to do.
Well, that's possible. I mean, they could be putting all these things out there, and then, like you say, three years down the line, then they start drawing certain stories or certain themes into a larger narrative. Like if we look at the other pictures, not everything that happened in those shows was drawn into the final Infinity War Endgame finale. So that's possible. I mean, but they've really just spread it out. I mean, they're just putting a lot out there if that's what they're going to do.
There was a wind going on while you were talking, Renee, that kind of reminded me of my time with the Sand People.
I could hear it.
Yeah. Very reminiscent. No, but honestly, look, there has to be somewhat of a reality where, at least at this point with these Disney Plus series, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, his inner circle, they are cognizant of the actual real-time reactions of the fandom, day to day, reacting to what's coming out with these Disney Plus series and whatnot, and that they possibly are actually now, on the fly, making changes and whatnot to their plans, and everything is not set in stone for 5 years now.
Yeah. Well, I hope they have some sort of a goal, some sort of an idea, and not just let it just kind of flail all over the place, and just go by what fans want.
Well, when Monica Rambeau like killed it in WandaVision and just blew it out of the water and shit and stood out like crazy, you don't think at all that Kevin Feige noticed and was like, you know what? We should probably make sure that Monica Rambeau is in like 3 different productions in the next 2 years.
Well, that's possible, but I don't know that would be wise. You know, she's. Yeah, here we go. They're gonna lose focus of the characters. They're gonna try to please. They're gonna try to make it formulaic and match. And not that they don't do enough of that, but they're going to go by the focus groups and go by the screenings and all that, and become way too technical about it.
But that's the dichotomy,
and lose the heart and soul of just loving to tell these stories.
Well, I just wanted to bring this up because I think it's an interesting premise that this is what's going. This is a possible thing that might be going on at this point. That they actually are legitimately making moves now on the fly.
Yeah,
for the first time.
I hope not.
What do you think, Justin?
Honestly, I hope not. I hope they're building up to something like Secret Wars. One of those just crazy big crossovers that they did with the Infinity War. I hope they're building up to something like that instead of just, doing it off the sleeve, or off the cuff.
If WandaVision doesn't occur, is Lizzie Olsen and Doctor Strange 2?
No.
Well, that was probably planned though. You know, they
was it? Do we know that for a fact?
Are you saying that when WandaVision they had no idea that
We didn't know that. No. Honestly, you listen, Renee. Part of the reason why they brought Sam Raimi in to do Doctor Strange 2 is because of the fact that they came to what's his name? The director of the first Doctor Strange film. They came to him and they told him, "Hey, we're going in a different direction. Okay? Like we're changing the momentum of the film. We're now not going to make it a straight up Marvel horror movie with Doctor Strange. It's now going to be a part of a trilogy with the multiverse." And that was part of the reason why they changed directors.
No, but what I'm saying, when they did WandaVision, when they storyboarded WandaVision, they probably already had a good idea that she was going to appear in Doctor Strange, the next Doctor Strange film. Exactly how the story how it would have been done, I don't, that maybe that wasn't down yet, but they knew some way somehow she was going to be tied into that next Doctor Strange movie.
They knew that she would end up becoming the new Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, whatever. I mean, they knew she was good, but back before Elizabeth Olsen, I mean, she didn't just start shining with WandaVision. She was part of it back before. So she's always been a part of what's been going forward. With her relationship with Vision and all that, and actually that's when you look at it, Doctor Strange and WandaVision. I mean, these have been the stories that have tied the closest to the first phases. Loki, those are familiar characters. The Falcon and Winter Soldier, these are all familiar characters. They're not new to us, like to say the Eternals were. Eternals were just totally new. We had to learn all new characters.
So you think 100% that before Falcon and the Winter Soldier actually occurred and the fan took it in, they already planned to do Captain America 4, the film with Sam Wilson?
In all likelihood, yeah. They probably plan these things out years in advance, and they may have several different, plan A, plan B. These guys know what they're doing. I'm assuming they do it much the same way they do comic books. I mean, they plan that stuff out. They have all 5 volumes written before they even put them out, and if they need to change them up in the meantime, they'll do that. But pretty much they're set, and they'll only make minor changes if need be.
Well,
that's just the way I'm assuming they do it, because it would make sense to do it that way.
Okay. Well, there's all kinds of weird, crazy, acid dropping, fucked up, sounding audio going on and whatnot at times here. And you know what? It's interesting. I'm liking it. The whole
I thought you were popping that bubble wrap.
Well, I like that whole wind tunnel effect you keep throwing into the game here. To change things up, Renee. It's cool. It's very soothing for me. Relaxing.
I think it might be my pacemaker you're hearing.
It reminds me of my time with the Sand People. It does. So that's a very big, impactful chunk of my life that I look back at. That's very, very important to me.
I think it was that time you fell face forward in the beach.
Yep, that's right. I'm telling you right now.
That was your dream. You dreamed of the Sand People.
You thought, if you think that, Boba Fett, walking through that desert for 3 weeks or whatever to find that stick was intense, you should have seen me trying to figure out if one of the Tuskens was a male or a female when I tried to check them out and whatnot and everything. I could not figure it out, man.
And they kept hitting you with a stick.
Yo, I'm telling you.
You pull up a skirt and they just whack you good.
Yep. That's right. And you know what? I'm telling you. Those Tuskens, man, they are some hardcore people. They are almost as scary as that fucking crazy ass dude that told me I should pay him for a reaction video with me. You know? Almost as scary as him. But, honestly, to tell you the truth, I think I would honestly be intimidated by a sand person in real life if one actually approached me with a stick and shit. I would actually probably be scared. But, as far as the Thunderbolts go, and as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes, and as far as my boy, Raymond, at the Booze and Chill YouTube channel, where he has the awesome, fun opportunity to do videos and content where all he does is drink alcohol and talk about it. What a great concept.
Mm-hmm.
What is good, Raymond? It's good to see you, my friend. You're a good man. And I have definitely enjoyed collaborating with Raymond and getting drunk with him while making content together. It's been fun. Either way, I'm a little jealous of Raymond for coming up with that concept before me, but I am working on a limited series where I'll actually get drunk as shit during the shows soon. It's coming down the road. It's going to happen. Now, as far as the Thunderbolts goes, I guess to kind of wrap it up and whatnot, what's the deal with Val? What do you think, Justin? Like, honestly, okay? I mean, so, in the comics, she's Madam Hydra, right?
Yeah.
She's a ex-SHIELD agent that had a romantic relationship with Nick Fury, and then became a villain. And she, so far, as a track record to show us what she's about, has lied to Yelena Belova, trying to get Hawkeye assassinated for some reason. Why, we don't know. Why Clint needed to die, I have no idea. How Val would gain from that, I don't know. But what do you think Val's deal is? I mean, if you had to guess, like, I mean, if she's potentially putting together the Thunderbolts, what is she getting out of it?
I have no idea. Man, I honestly speculate.
She does not seem like she is a selfless person that does things just to help people.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. Man, I honestly, I don't know. And speculating on it would be weird.
Could they bring Hydra back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, I mean, Hydra always plays a huge role in Captain America stuff. You know, what's the point with Captain America being gone?
That's a good question. That's something I think about all the time. Who's going to be that villain in Captain America 4?
Man, that's a great question.
I think it should be the guy from the Star Wars films from the early 2000s. You know that
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks. Yeah.
Yes.
He should be the villain.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that he definitely should. As intelligent as he is,
and he should also be the next Predator film too.
Right. Just because of his screen presence.
Yes.
I agree.
Yep.
You know, Zemo would
She's
be
a Predator's sidekick.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The comic relief.
Yep. And Jar Jar is the only person who can actually understand the Sand People. Yep.
Oh, man. Poor Jar Jar.
Yep.
And his translation skills.
Sadly intellectual, yet fucking retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you.
Yep. You know, he can't help himself. You know what I mean? He sounds like a fucking idiot. You know, he's stupid as fuck, but he's really smart.
Yeah. That was a time when they listened to the focus groups.
I think personally that Chloe Zhao was involved in that whole thing back then.
Wasn't even alive.
Yep. Chloe Zhao. Yep.
Leave the girl alone.
Chloe Zhao was instrumental in that shit. I'm telling you.
Shit. He always shows that, but that's when he was in his Jeff was doing his ambulance training.
Yep. Hey, I'm telling you right now, if I would have been in that situation and that guy fall out of that truck like that, whatnot, and everything, I would have ran. I'm not trying. Yo,
it looks like what you did.
I'm telling you right now, yo, that looks like a lawsuit waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that cannot be good for your injuries and shit and whatnot when you fall out of that truck like that. You know? I mean, seriously. Of course, on the Podcast of Champions one time, I revealed that Lord Deathman's actual identity was that he was Chloe Zhao's closet lover. Yep.
And how did that go over?
And he co-wrote the Eternals with Chloe. Yep.
That's why he's never on the show again.
Lord Deathman is not like that. And he retorted back at me in a very aggressive manner that actually shook me a little bit. It did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, it's Lord Deathman.
Yep. That's right. Lord Deathman is the man. I'm telling you right now. Lord Deathman is so cool that he's just chilling, taking a break right now because he knows that he's more effective when he takes a minute off the shows. Justin, are you oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
What? No. Go
ahead. I thought maybe that you were rewatching the Chloe Zhao rescue mission there and whatnot, and planning operation.
Oh, man, that poor... I was actually looking at Chloe Zhao's films that she's done over the years and wondering why she was picked.
Why would you not, strap down the injured person in the back of the pickup truck before you drive away?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Why not put up the gate?
Maybe that's how they're actually going to bring out the mutant abilities, like activate the X gene in that fucked up person by having them fall out of that truck.
Could be it.
Yep.
Could be it.
Yeah. And no, but honestly, I'll tell you this. I think that it's interesting. It's an interesting question as far as, okay, so Moon Knight came out. We all talked about before it came out. Is it going to be comic book accurate? How are they going to make it work? Right? How's it going to work on Disney Plus? Everyone's afraid of Daredevil. And the fact that they're going to put it on Disney Plus, and it's going to be so terrible compared to the Netflix Daredevil, right? People are very worried. They're nervous. So,
with good reason.
So at that point, folks, Renee, how do they do a Thunderbolts film with Disney? I mean, if they're going to have it... if they're going to have it be anything like the Suicide Squad film in any way, right. How does that work?
They're going to have that level. Well, they'll never be able to do that level. Well, I'm trying to think, how violent were the end games? I mean, they can do it up to that level of violence. I mean, for some reason, we think Disney hasn't been doing violence up till now. They're not going to be able to do it like the Suicide Squad, because that was just like blowing crap up and killing, and that type of entertainment.
Oh yeah, and they had
it can't be quite that graphic. So
no, and they had a straight up titty shot too in the movie, which was awesome. Yep.
Well, yeah, they're not going to have anything like that. I don't know how they're going to do it and get it, like you say, get that type of a grittiness to it that something like the Thunderbolts would probably need. We'll see. Maybe they will. Like I said, I can't prejudge something that I haven't seen yet.
Well, I mean, if from a standpoint of contrast, right? Okay, if we're gonna have all these teams, and we know that, right? And we're gonna have all these properties, all these different productions, all these different characters, right? There has to be some kind of contrast. There has to be.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be separation.
Oh yeah,
there has to be in order to make it interesting. Okay, and to create stories and to create different premises and relationships.
Well,
and
do it as a Dirty Dozen type. Deal where we get to find it. We get to know the crumminess of the character. We don't have to see him being, blood and gore everywhere. We just find out from that character if they're redeemable or if maybe they should get killed in the next scene. You know what I'm saying?
Is the Thunderbolts possibly gonna be maybe the team or like the concept where Marvel and Disney finally say, you know what? We're gonna go all out and finally change the game up, and we're gonna go R-rated. No? You don't think so, Justin?
No, there's no way. I don't see. I don't see Disney taking a property like that where it's in the beginning was in this Marvel universe. I see where they could take it like a not Daredevil, but Deadpool and make it R-rated film. Because it's not a part of this universe yet.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as making, I don't see it being any darker than Moon Knight, to be honest. And it's gonna have a PG-13 on it. That's just Disney's MO.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of wonder in my mind sometimes, like, you know what? The way things are these days, with all this instant gratification right now in the culture, right, especially with the youth, this prominence of everything being instant, give it to me immediately and whatnot and everything, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. At that point, you just never know with things. Like, you never know with film. You never know with these teams, with these characters. You never know. Like, the Thunderbolts could come out and legitimately end up being some kind of freaking game-changing, popular as shit property. It could be.
Could be.
It could launch characters into the stratosphere. It's possible.
I don't see it happening.
No, I don't either. I think they're going to put their energy into Fantastic Four.
Well, look, we don't know what the roster is going to be yet. And I'm telling you right now, by the time they do the Thunderbolts film, they will have introduced other characters into the MCU that will be on the team.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right.
Well,
how far in the future is this movie? They've just announced it. So we're, 2 years?
Nah, they said, 2024 at the soonest.
Yeah, so that's, this thing's down the future.
All I'm saying is you never know. You never know, right? I mean, hey, at one point, years ago, I was very dubious that they'd ever be able to pull off an Avengers film. One of them. Any kind of Avengers film. And make it work.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it could be done. And guess what? They did it. And not only did they do it, I watched that shit on TV, and I was blown the fuck away. It was epic. It was like I was 13 again.
Mm-hmm.
It made my dick semi-hard. And, hey, honestly, I feel like, look, Justin, we talked about John Walker, look, John Walker could break out. Yeah. He has that possibility, that capability. whatever his name is, what is his name? He's Kurt Russell's son. Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, that's his name.
He's very capable. He's very talented. I mean, I just feel like, hey, look at Yelena Belova. Yelena Belova might literally be better off in the Thunderbolts. It might elevate her character.
Well, you can sort of see it. If you have John Walker, you've got the anti-Captain America. And with Belova, you got the anti-Black Widow.
Yeah.
So you can sort of see if they pair off the you have the antithesis of the original character, and how they far more morally compromised people deal with these situations.
Yep. And then they can throw Echo in the mix too, and you've got somebody that's like as tough as the fucking clown from my ration video in real life, and at the same time just makes intense, like, dirty facial, like, expressions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, hey. No, but honestly, I feel like this alone, for me, this Thunderbolts thing, reinvigorates me in terms of my overall feelings towards Marvel right now and Marvel Studios. It does, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This alone, again, connects to the whole conversation of like, hey, chill out, take a break, take a breath, you know, give it a minute. Because, hey, look, on any given day when you jump online and look, there's new interesting shit happening with Marvel every day. All of a sudden, we're getting a Thunderbolts movie. We're getting a Captain America 4 movie. Who the hell ever would have thought we'd get a Captain America 4 movie? With Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, shit. They gave the Black Panther film an Academy Award nomination, which was delusional. Endgame got nothing. What does it mean and what does it say about where we're at as a society right now if we're so bad and like things are so racially divided, the white people are so evil? Why is Captain America black? You know, and he's popular too. I mean, hey, look, my only point is this, folks. Marvel Studios right now, just by doing things like that in subtle ways, is making moves that like the Marvel comic books people were doing for society, culturally, just in their own way. You know, and hey, to close things out, I'll just say this. I think that Renee and I have talked about this personally and on shows and in the studio and whatnot and everything. And I feel like, you know what, Renee? Look, I think that overall, as fans, we have to like push a little bit sometimes and be willing to work a little bit sometimes and make an effort sometimes to find our motivation and find our drive to be into Marvel, to want to talk about it, to be invigorated by it, to be motivated by it. You know? Hey, we're all affected by the internet and social media and all that shit. All of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Even me, living with the Sand People. You know? Where there was no electricity at all. We just had sticks and the fucking and the water bowl and the water like balls.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Kept getting sand in your computer.
Yup. Not know whether people are male or female at all. You know? I'm telling you. I mean, hey, that's tough when you cannot figure out who to have sex with. Hey, I'm telling you right now, it's not complicated why the multiverse went into madness. Hey, listen, when you're Wanda and like you're with Vision and he has no penis for years, hey man, like look, that is some frustrating shit.
Man, I never even thought of that.
Well, we just never saw it.
Hey,
You know,
in WandaVision,
he probably had, you know, he had gears and switches and things, and
in WandaVision or whatever and whatnot, where they like their beds came together and shit, and like Vision went under the fucking the covers with her and whatnot and everything.
Look at it this way. Vision was just a giant male-sized vibrator.
Yeah, but like he got all gummed up and shit that one time when he ate some gum or whatever. So imagine what happens when he eats pussy. You know?
Again, never even would have thought about it.
Yeah, I mean that could affect his programming.
Well, so long as she shaves, it shouldn't be a problem.
Could you imagine if, like, Vision and Wanda having a conversation on WandaVision about how Wanda let her pubes grow out and shit on purpose, like, as, like, an act of defiance towards Vision? And him, like, logically and, like, intellectually explaining to her why it's a better idea to shave it? That would be cool.
Well, since he's a machine, can't he just shave it himself?
Oh, shit, yeah. And since he's a machine, why would he even care about the pubic hair? You know?
He doesn't want to get, like you said.
Hey, Vision is a selfless guy, all right? The guy almost killed himself trying to push himself through that shield and shit just to save people in the town. So at that point, I gotta believe that he's down for it and whatnot and all about it when he encounters some straight up 80s porn fucking bush going on with some chick. You know? Yep.
I can't get that image out of my head.
I'm telling you right now, okay? Look, I know where White Vision has been this whole time. I do. He's with the Sand People. He is. He's in the desert. On Tatooine. Yep.
And with Disney, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, no. He wanted to be with people more like him that have no penis, and you can't tell if they're male or female. So,
Yeah, but the sand will get all up in his ears.
Look, I'm telling you right now, if they did a fucking Disney
He'll
Plus
have to
series,
get in that Boba Fett's tank and cleaned himself.
hey, look, my Bacta tank can do a lot of things, all right, but I've got to keep the sand out of there because I cannot afford to slip up on my treatments on my herp and like my chlamydia and shit like that, whatnot. You got to get that shit all out. You can't be having like
your Bacta tank filter doesn't work.
Yeah, you can't be having little traces and remnants of that shit hanging out. You gotta let it all get rid of all of it.
Oh man.
Hey. So, anyways, folks, I am of course going to be very soon becoming abstinent for a while for the good of society. I will be. And
coming.
Yup. No, I'm just playing. But I will tell you this though, Renee. You want to hear something funny?
Oh, please.
I hired Vincent Van Spock, right, to be my production assistant on the Bleeding Edge.
I didn't know that.
I did.
Right. Oh.
I did. And you
how
know
is
what?
Vincent? How is Vincent?
Oh, you want to hear about the wonderful job he did for me?
Sure.
Well, you know what? That son of a bitch, that lazy fuck, ripped me off completely. I paid him out of pity and trust, and because I felt bad for him and shit. And he did not do a single fucking thing I asked him to do ever in the entire time that he worked for me. Not one thing. Not only that, he would not even make an effort to try it or do any of it. What did he do?
What were you asking him to do?
But this is what he did for me, okay? This is the kind of work he did for me, all right? The YouTube channel started to outpace the podcast. It wasn't matching up. Okay, I was uploading video content and then not getting the MP3s onto the podcast. Right.
Okay.
I had a meeting with him. I showed him visually on StreamYard like 6 or 7 videos that needed to have the MP3s thrown up on the Anchor podcast and converted over to podcast. Okay, and then I do the rest. What did he do for me? He told me that he charged me for like 14 hours of work, he said he did, doing some project, like classifying all of the podcast episodes or something or whatever on Google Drive or some shit or whatever. I didn't know what he was even talking about. And what did he do for me? He did not actually upload not a single one of those fucking videos into podcast form like I asked him to. He went on the podcast and took podcast episodes that we already put out and re-uploaded them. So we now have double versions of shows we already done on our podcast. And I'm confused as fuck as to what is going on. I can't even figure out what episode we're at now. What's going on? Like, no clue.
Wow.
Yep. He went on the YouTube channel and decided it was a good idea to re-upload YouTube videos that we already made on the YouTube channel. Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yep. Very good work. Very good work. And also, he told me that he claimed 10 hours of work putting together collaborations for us for the Bleeding Edge. And when I called him out on it and said, you know what? You're full of shit. In 10 hours of trying to, like, get together with other creators, and you couldn't come up with one guest for me, I don't believe you did shit. What did he tell me? This is what he told me. He said that every single creator he talked to, every single one, told him that they refused to be on the Bleeding Edge or work with us because I'm a chauvinist and I hate women. Yep. So, there you go. That's my reward for feeling bad for Vincent Van Spock and trying to do a solid for him. And Cyber, the fabulous host he is and whatnot, when I told him about it, was like, laughed and said, you know what? I knew he was a lazy fuck. Yep. He was like, you know what? I just figured you'd figure it out on your own. So, hey, thank you, Cyber. I appreciate you. And thank you, Vincent. You know what? Thank you so much. That was you did some really good work for me. But that's got to be a record, though, honestly. How could you work with somebody and not do one single thing you're asked to do? Hey. That's okay. Either way, folks. This is the MCU's Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. We are, of course, now monetized, which I guess, in YouTube terms, adds a certain level of legitimacy to what we do. But at the same time, we are very humbled in what we do and very, very appreciative and whatnot by every positive word we get in feedback and whatnot. Every good thing we hear and support. We appreciate all of our supporters and whatnot and everything we do. We appreciate all of our guests, everyone we collaborate with. And at the end of the day, if not for the Podcast of Champions and Sakara.freeforums.net, and people like Renee and Lord Deathman and Arch Stanton, you know, there wouldn't be a Bleeding Edge, and I wouldn't have 3 really great friends in my life that I care about deeply and respect. And you know what? I'm very, very happy to welcome Justin to the Bleeding Edge for his second appearance, where I'm hoping that when I talk to him tomorrow, he will tell me that he'll score his guesting abilities and whatnot on the show tonight at a rate above. What did you give yourself last time? A 4.5?
Yes.
Okay. Well, look. You're much better than that, my friend.
Yeah, that's way too low.
Yep. I mean, hey, at least you're better than Jar Jar would be.
Poor Jar Jar.
Yep. I mean, hey, he'd be an interesting guest. I can tell you that right now. Could you imagine if Jar Jar directed the movie?
Didn't we get that with the Eternals?
Ha! Very funny. Very funny. Anyways, folks, so for the Bleeding Edge, for Renee, for Justin Hurst, for Cybernetic Shark, my co-host, and for me, Jeff S., a.k.a. True Knowledge, we say, peace out. We love all of you in the fandom and whatnot and everything. We appreciate all of you. And please be safe. God bless you. And, of course,
Như vậy thì
don't forget that when Brie Larson calls you on your phone and shit and you're trying to talk to some chick and get laid, you take your phone and throw it against the goddamn wall. Just like that guy. Yeah, that's right.
That was so weird.
Hey, if Brie called me on my cell phone, I'd do the same shit. I'd be like, what? Fucking Brie? Fuck you. Get out of here. You're off the team, bitch.
They're going to kill me. I told them to send me a video holding an object and start nodding.
Anything is a dildo when you really put your mind to it. There's no such thing as too large or too sharp. Every time you stop to question yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I can, and I will.
Said, excuse me, you don't understand where I'm at. I was all around the world, on span, cross the map. I've been laying low and now it's time to pop up, bitch, I'm back. Now I'ma run it up. Snooze on the kid that you dumb or what? You better